Thanks for joining us. All right, so you reported this right here on Newsmax with Carl Higbie on Thursday. You said he'd likely drop out by the weekend. You were right. But the way he did it, Mark, that surprised a lot of us. We thought perhaps he would go from the Oval Office, maybe just do something from Delaware. But he put out this letter on X, and he also didn't let his members, of the staff know until a minute before it went out there. Were you surprised by this?
No, look, he's got COVID. He doesn't want to give a full explanation of his reasoning, and he wanted to really control the message. And as we know, ironically, one of the main reasons he had to get out of the race was because of his performance. And to go out and knowing that he would be seen, that piece of video would be seen in history as an important document. I think maybe he felt like it wasn't up to, under the circumstances, putting down on tape what he'd like to have lived forever. So a print statement made sense.
So he endorsed VP Kamala Harris, but other prominent Democratic leaders have not. Obama, Schumer, Pelosi, Jeffries, they've all remained silent on throwing their endorsement to Harris. Why do you think that is?
Just so they don't have the appearance that the party bigwigs are jamming her through. They want to have the appearance of an open process, even though I think it will be a contested convention that's not contested. So I wouldn't read anything into the silence from the folks you named. They're eventually going to be fully supportive of her, help her raise money, help her try to win. But for now, they don't want to make it seem to the voters like this is an inside job.
Okay. So do you think she will be the nominee? What are your sources telling you?
I do. Look, they're Biden-Harris delegates. They're formally pledged to Joe Biden, but they're folks who demographically and ideologically, I think, will be inclined to vote for her. She's in the race. She's got a lot of support already. I don't anticipate anyone else serious getting in the race to try to challenge her. So high probability she'll be the nominee, and the Democrats will have to spend between now and their convention in Chicago figuring out the answer to 1,000,001 questions about how all this will go in terms of process and programming for the convention. But I fully expect her to be the nominee based on all the conversations I've had with sources in the party.
So if you believe she's the nominee, then who do you think she picks as her running mate? I know the list right now is at about 9 people, but who do you think helps her the most politically?
Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. In talking to even people around Donald Trump, they say this is a formidable pick if she makes it. I don't see much downside to Kelly. There are no perfect candidates, so yeah, of course there's some downside, but I think it's Kelly, and then a distant second, Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania. According to my sources, I have no idea what the vice president's actually thinking. But if you ask me who people are touting with a lot of explanation about why it's politically advantageous, I'd say Kelly and then Shapiro and then a big drop off.
How soon do you think she makes this announcement?
No idea.
We'll get your crystal ball out.
It could be tomorrow, and it could be at the convention itself, the way President Trump did it.
Yeah.
I reported last week that people on her behalf had already started to look in the backgrounds of some of these folks. But clearly now, under the circumstances where she's actually going to be the nominee for president, I think she's going to want to do some consultation, some figure out who exactly she's comfortable with. But the timing, even if she makes a decision, of course, they'll factor that in to try to make this rollout as advantageous to her prospects as possible.
Does she debate Trump?
I think she probably would want to. I don't know whether he'll do it or not, but there's some question now from the Trump side about whether they want to stay with the agreement to do the debate with ABC. So I don't know. My gut is there'll be a debate because I think they'll both find it irresistible in the end, but I don't think it's a sure thing at all.